Greetings, my beautiful cuddlebugs. Welcome to Ramblings of a Book Dragon, where we dive into the warmth of good books and unravel stories that feel like a literary hug. I'm Allie, your host, and I'm thrilled to embark on another cozy adventure with you. So grab a cup of your favorite coffee, find your favorite reading nook, and let's begin. Welcome to the first official review of 2024. I'd like to apologize for the poor audio quality from the last time. I'm still working on figuring out my whole mic situation, so thank you for bearing with me during this time. I thought since I had mentioned it in my 2023 wrap-up, I would review If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, and I thought, why not start with Dark Academia for the new year? If We Were Villains was written by M.L. Rio and performed by Robert Petkoff. I also wanted to kind of go, I think I really like being able to also discuss the narrators, since I do mostly listen to books via audiobooks, which is still reading in my opinion, but that's a story for another day. And I wanted to also kind of go over that part of the book as well. Please let me know if you like or dislike that, or how things are going with that. But yeah, Robert Petkoff did a really great job with distinguishing between the different characters, and also the way he read Shakespeare, because If We Were Villains has a lot of Shakespearean quotes, information, and it was just really interesting to hear him read it, and it was like he was actually acting it out. It'd be interesting to learn if he has any Shakespeare experience. I know M.L. Rio studied Shakespeare in college, so that makes sense with that. But I thought he did a really fantastic job with just giving the emotions and distinguishing the characters. So the book, follows Oliver, one of 7 young actors in a cohort at a college in Illinois. It's an elite performing arts college technically, and he and his friends perform the same roles both on and off the screen. Like we have the hero, the villain, the seductress, etc. All of that is on the back of the book as the kind of overview information with that. But it's interesting because throughout the 4 years at this elite school, they're now in their senior year, and in the past 3 years, the cohort got smaller and smaller and smaller as people who didn't make the cut were kicked out. So now it's their senior year, and they have a couple of the big leagues to do. Like they do a scene from Macbeth, they do a scene from Julius Caesar, and then their final book their final play that they perform is King Lear. And so they do their, like with all performing arts situations, they have their different times that they have to the teachers assign them their roles after they do their auditions. Sorry, words are really hard today, which has been very, very fun for me. But yeah, so they do their auditions and then they're assigned their roles. And generally speaking, they have all had their main roles. Like the one guy is always the hero, and then his girlfriend is always his right-hand lady, the seductress, the main woman. But then in their senior year, the teachers decide to switch things up, with some of the secondary actors now being the main roles, and then the main actors are now in the secondary roles, which seems to be kind of the catalyst for what happens, which one of them winds up dead, and I'm not going to name any names or do any spoilers with that, and I apologize if I accidentally do. But yeah, so that's the fun with that, is it's kind of exploring how that affects them, because like Oliver, he's always felt like he's never really needed or wanted to be the main lead, because he's kind of just the jack of all trades type, but then he and his best friend are given the leads in Macbeth, and the school really likes to ham it up, it seems, with their productions, because like with Macbeth, it's when they have the sisters and no one knows who has the roles until it's time for them to actually do the performance. And it was very interesting because like they're by this really great big lake, and so the actors and everyone else that's at the school, like you have your ballet dancers, you have your singers, and your philosophy majors. It's all that sort of fun thing, but it's basically all around Shakespeare. And I think at one point someone even mentioned that it's like a cult, and I would agree with how just really in depth everyone gets about Shakespeare and his plays and everything. It kind of reminded me of in Gilmore Girls when they really went into depth when she was at Chilton. But yeah, so one of the actors dies, and to be honest, it's not really all that surprising because that person who gets killed is an egomaniac, it would seem, and he's also rather abusive to the people around him. He really doesn't like it at all that he was not cast as the main lead. And then though he does wind up being Julius Caesar in the end, the one who dies, and we kind of follow them throughout the year. And the story begins when Oliver is being released from prison, and he had agreed to also kind of explain just the truth of what exactly had happened all those years ago at this school. And it was very interesting, and I thought it was all around really a lot of fun because then we learn about the characters. We learn that basically the way they are on the stage reflects kind of how they are off stage as well. They're all these bright young things, and they're all kind of having fun. And then because of this switch, like I was saying before, it really throws everyone out of whack. My only real complaint about this book is the ending. I'm not going to spoil what happens, of course, like I said, but it was kind of like the author was giving a hint that there may be a sequel, maybe. Like she was leaving it up in the air with the way that she had ended it. But then it was like, what's going on? Like, is this a real thing, or is it that our guy finally just lost his mind after being in jail for so many years and finally got the truth of some situations that were going on? But yeah, that is If We Were Villains by ML Rio. Please let me know if you like it like this with the more short form content. I'm planning on also doing a podcast also about it, Murder Your Employer. I want to give a dedicated review to that, and then the 2 new books that I've just read this year. And I think I kind of like it better this way, where it's just focusing on the one book, where we're kind of focusing in on that. But please let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe so that you won't miss a single episode. But that is a big thank you to all you beautiful cuddlebugs. This is the end of the podcast. Thank you for joining me on this literary journey escapade. And until next time, keep snuggling with those books and spreading those cozy vibes. Happy reading, and I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.